Hello, good evening and welcome to round 3 of the Flat Out E-Racing Championship. We are here at Willow Springs this week, not on the usual course that you're all aware of. We're at the street track, which is a little bit trickier than the normal circuit we've got. We've had qualifying. Clunan's on pole, Zamperino second, Timorous third. And we're just about to set off with this 20-minute race. 3, 2, 1, and we're away. Rolling start, so we'll all be fairly settled into the first corner. Uphill to the right-hander. Then hard on the brakes. As we work through quite a wiggly section here. Clunan holding on to the lead. Seems to be a little bit of kerfuffle going on further back. There's been a bit of a gap there. Let's just move back slowly. Timorous there in third. The Greek guys in there first to fifth. Courier, new driver, joining us tonight. So there seems to have been a little break up in the pack towards the back, but we're likely to be fairly settled for this first lap or two round that top long hairpin corner as we head back down the hill through this relatively fast section before we hard on the brakes for the left-hander at the bottom. As you can see, then through this little chicane section, round the hairpin, and clunk on the curb as Timorous has done there, and heading their way down the straight. Someone's gone well wide down at the back there. Let's just have a look, see if we can pick up who that was. Let's work our way back through the field. Let's have a look down in sixth. Select, who I believe is our driver from Monaco according to that flag. They've definitely pulled away as a pack. So who have we got further down? We've got the Brit packs here, 7th, 8th and 9th. There's Cajun 100, Noodlester and Mark Parker. Working their way through there. And then Hulky's there in 10th, who's hosting the room for us tonight. Special livery there for Hulky. Had some sad news in the last week. Lost his daughter, who was only just a few days old. So that's a special livery in her honour there for his daughter Lissy. So let's head back up the front. So Clunan's moving away. Oh, bit sideways there. He comes back onto the start-finish straight there. This is a very tight, gnarly circuit for these V8 cars because they are used to much wider and open track. So it'll be interesting to see what racing this is going to produce for us. We're 2.5 minutes in already, 20-minute race. We'll just check on board. We're not really expecting anything in the way of pit stops. A little bit of fuel usage there, and they're on the racing super softs, which I think you'll find they're all on. For the second race, we've got a reverse grid coming to you, and what that means is the fastest guys from the first race will be at the back. But not only that, they will have to start on a harder compound tyres to give those slower drivers a bit of a chance. So let's work our way back through the field, see where we've got some tighter racing happening. I think on with 4th place there. Courier, new driver to us today. He looks like he's working quite hard on the back of Timorous. So let's see as we come on through this little tricky section of right-handers onto the start-finish straight. See where this new driver Courier can see if he can make a move. I say it's very tight on this track tonight. Very much a backwards and forwards, very slow sort of second gear corners, and it's very tricky to find anywhere where you can get a good run on the driver in front using slipstream or anything similar like that. As you see, quite a section of left and right hand turns. Panos there, who's another one of these very quick Greek drivers behind, giving Courier quite a hard time there. These guys in 3rd, 4th and 5th do seem quite settled at the moment. Here we go, hard on the brakes now. It's quite a tricky section. You're trying to get on the brakes when you're not quite straight. You see Timorous in front, getting it all a little bit loose. Taking great chunks out of those curves, but getting away with it. Oh, Timorous Getting a little bit sideways there, lack of grip. Now Panos is all concertinaed up, so Panos is having a look down the inside there. Can he get a move done? No. As I said before, it's quite a short circuit with short straights between these corners, so it's quite difficult to get a move done. So let's just have a look back, see if we can spot anything that's starting to boil up. One drive at the back there just seems to have had a problem and moving on again. I'm guessing that might have been, it's Mark Parker. Mark Parker's obviously had an incident there on, let's see if we can pick that up. Might be a little bit late for a replay, but we'll shoot back. Yeah, unfortunately it is. Mark's obviously had an incident there where he's ended up facing the other way. So we'll just work back to the standard shot there for you. So it looks like in the background there he might actually be looking in danger of being lapped, possibly. Let's just see where the leaders are. No. Where is he on the track at the moment? No. So Kalunen's out front still. Zavarino in second with a little bit of space around him there. 3.6 back from Kalunen and 2 seconds in front of Timmerus. The real battle is this battle for third, fourth and fifth, which I think we'll stick with this for a little bit because this seems to be the tightest battle on the track at the moment. Oh, looks like a couple of drivers had an incident there further up. I think that's back down with Mark Parker possibly. Let's have a look, see if we can go back and so there was, Olkey got it all wrong by the look of it. He was out on the grass. Oh, and Mark Parker, oh dear, they got involved in each other's accidents there. That's unfortunate for them. So that's why they were off on the gravel there. So they've got going again now, so that's great news to see. So let's pop back to this battle in third, fourth and fifth. So Panos still there in fifth, Courier fourth, Timmerus third, which is how they were before. Looks like Timmerus is pulling away a little bit. Oh, I thought Panos might have been having a little look there, but he's not at the moment. So the Five Creek drivers are definitely pulled away here. I think we're going to hop on board with Panos because I can see him looking to make a move very much in the near future. He looks very keen to get by Courier there. As we said, Courier is a new driver to the series tonight, so glad to see him and welcome him on board. Oh, unfortunately Mark Parker has left the room. Hopefully he'll rejoin us for the second race. Obviously he was having a bit of a nightmare there tonight at the back of the field. Oh, looks like somebody else has gone off there at the back. It looks like he's got it back on track, so we'll stay on board with this little battle at the moment. We're heading towards the halfway mark in the race. Oh, looks like Panos got that line a little bit wrong around that last corner there onto the main straight. So here we go, up to turn 2. All still very tight between these three guys. Very great respectful racing to see between them. Keeping it close, just running those curves neatly. Not too much over them, otherwise they get a bit of a bounce and launch into the distance. So they're working their way through this left-right section up towards the hairpin at the top, where they can start to round this nicely cambered curve so you can get some good drive out of this corner. Just got to work that right spot to get your foot on the throttle, and then they're going to head their way back down the hill to this last section of left-right corners, which are very tight and not really ideally suited to these V8 cars. So let's see what else we've got going on at the moment. We'll just check the feed, see what we've got happening in the, see if we can see comments. No, we can't. Just to look, we check. No, we don't want to connect to another device. That's fine. So, oh, George Marge, good evening, hello George, good to see you. If you've got any comments or any feedback for me, please contribute, and anybody else that's watching in, please jump on board with the chat, let me know, and I'll try and interact with you as best as I can. So let's move back and see if we can work through the field and see who else has got a bit of a battle going on. Select has slid back from Panos a little bit there. He's 14 seconds adrift, but he's 14 seconds ahead of Noodlester. And Noodlester there in 7th. He's now 18 seconds ahead of Cajun, who, excuse me, is 19. Yeah, he's 19 seconds behind Noodlester there. And there in 9th is Hulky, who I think has dropped down off the lead lap, which is why it's not showing me a time. So, but they're all still in it for the points. And talking of, oh, hello. Having watched that battle intently, I've then missed Panos getting by both Timorous and Courier, which is slightly unfortunate. It's always the way, you look away and it all happens. So I don't quite know what happened there. If anybody spotted it, please let me know. So nice livery there by Timorous, reflecting the current Ducati MotoGP team. Oh, look like, did I see somebody off there? Oh no, I think it was just the bank curb. So now Panos has got by Timorous and Courier. I want to see if he can make a breakaway. Let's see how far is he. He's 4.2 behind Zamborino, so I wonder, we've got just under 9 minutes left. Be interesting to see whether he can make that gap up. And while we're talking the gaps and timings, let's just have a quick look to see where we're at in the championship. So I just want to catch up on that for you while we have a little bit of a quieter period in the race. And I'm relying on me being able to find it, so just give me a second there, callers. We will be with you any second now. No, lost it there as well. It's amazing when you have things to hand and then all suddenly go away. The joy of modern technology, isn't it? Yes, there we go, I knew I had it to hand. So, as it stands at the moment, Zamborino is currently leading our championship at 89 points. Just 1 point ahead of Kalunen, who is on 88. So Zamborino's 89, Kalunen's 88. Third is Panos on 73. And then the first of the UK drivers is Burnfry. He's in 4th, equal points with Timorous. They're both on 66. And Kevin 77 is a driver who unfortunately is not able to join us for the rest of the season. He's still hanging in there in 6th. Select is in 7th, Noodlester is in 8th, and Mark Parker in 9th. So let's just have a look, see have we got any developing battles here. I don't think there's anything developing too much further down the field. I think it's this section here with Panos, Timorous and Courier. Now we don't know how Panos managed to get by there. Unfortunately we missed it, but those two guys behind him, Timorous and Courier, don't seem to be letting him go. So I'd imagine they may want to have a go at getting that 3rd place and last spot on the podium back. So as we're around the top of the circuit, around this heavily cambered corner, as we hurtle back down the hill, this is one of the few chances maybe to get a little bit of a slipstream and maybe try and have a punt. But the problem is, as we come down this bottom section, as you can see, there's little kinks, which means it's very difficult to try and get down the inside of anybody, because you're going apex to apex over that faster section. But it does look like Timorous is getting quite close to Panos there. He's not far behind there at all, is he? Let's just hop on board, see if we can physically see that gap actually reducing. And Timorous does seem that a little bit stronger on the brakes there. Panos chucking up some stones into the headlights of Timorous's BMW. Just reminded, it's the, oh, I thought Panos had gone a bit deep there, but he got away with it. So just reminded, this is a V8 series. We've got 2 choice of cars. We've got the Mustang and the BMW, but all drivers have very much headed down the BMW route as the preferred car of choice. So that's why you're seeing all the cars very similar in design. But the other element is, this is to emulate the V8 supercars in the Australian series. So a lot of the liveries you will see are related to that style of car. So you'll see Red Bull and DeWalt and those kind of liveries. So here we go, coming up to complete lap 13. Just over 5 minutes left, so just quarter of race distance left. We'll just hop on board, see what the fuel situation is. Oh, plenty of fuel. We've got 3/4 of a tank left, so there's going to be no problem on that side of it. So it does look like Panos is making a little bit of a break there, and looking back, Courier is dropping away. So this battle does seem to have settled out a little bit. Let's work our way back, see if we can see anything else developing. Select is 6th. He's got 16 seconds on Noodlester, who's got 42 seconds on Cajun. Nice Vodafone livery there from Noodlester, very much a V8 Supercars look. And the same with Cajun 100 with that Valvoline livery there, very smart. And then Hulky, unfortunately, I think has dropped off the lead lap. So, and he's coming up to be lapped again, I believe. Yeah, that looks like Select. He's going to just come by him there. So we'll just hop on board with Select so we can see this overtake. There we go. Cool, got him round that cambered curve up at the top of the circuit. So we'll, just over 4 minutes remaining, we will hop back to Panos in 3rd, who does seem to have made that break from Timorous. He's now got a 1.5 seconds on him, and Timorous doesn't seem at the moment to have anything to respond. So just remind you, after this, after a short break, we've got the second race coming for you, which is a reverse grid race with the added bonus that the 5 fastest drivers from the first race, which will be basically anybody with a Greek flag beside the name, will have to use a harder compound tyre, which will mean they won't have quite as much grip. So that will make their challenge to go from the back to the front of the grid that much more difficult. So as we're heading up to the end of the lap, I think we've got about 2 laps remaining. We'll just hop with Kalunan up in the lead. Let's see where he is on the lap. I think we've got this lap, sorry, there'll be this lap and then 2 laps afterwards. So we'll hop on board with Kalunan as he's coming up. I think that's Noodlester in front. He's just coming up to lap him around this bank corner at the top. Noodlester will be getting the blue flags as they hurtle down this fast section. And this is what I was talking about. This is quite a fast section down here, but as you jump these apexes down the bottom and then jump on the brakes, it's very difficult to get an inside or outside line on the driver in front and try and make an overtake. So this makes this course particularly tricky. Noodlester gone a little bit deep there, and Kalunan takes the opportunity and he's dived through on the inside and puts a lap on Noodlester. So just 2 minutes 12 to go. Yeah, I think we've got 2 laps to go from now. Let's see if what we've got happening in the chat. Well, I can bring it up. There we go. Oh, George. Yeah, Mark Parker was racing tonight, but he had a bit of an incident about halfway through the race and unfortunately left the room. So we are hoping that he is going to return and join us a little bit later. He had a bit of a coming together with another driver who had lost control. So I think he was down towards the back of the pack, so he decided to pull out of this race. So it may be a strategic move that he is going to be back on to take pole position for the second race. I'm not quite sure how it will work out if he joins in later. But thanks for responding there, George. So here we go, just coming up for Kalunan to start his last lap. And Bernard Fry, he unfortunately had a last minute commitment and he wasn't able to start the race. He was hoping to host tonight, but we got a message about half an hour before the start that he couldn't actually make it. So yeah, Jordan and Bernard Fry, I'm assuming you're talking about the same person there, George. So heading round this last lap, Kalunan's not got much to worry about. He's got a 6 second gap on Zamborino, and I think Zamborino's fairly safe as well. Yeah, he's 6 seconds behind Kalunen, and he's got 8 seconds on Panos. So I don't see anything majorly developing there. So we'll just hop on board with Kalunen as he completes his final race. So yeah, I'm with you, George. It's a no-no for me as well, and hopefully these guys will be back shortly. So as we complete the lap down to this last section, through this last nearly left right section, round that final hairpin, jumping the curbs. Here we go. Kalunen gassing it towards the finishing line. Great drive there. Started on pole and has done a great job all the way through. Cleared off and done a brilliant job there. Second place, Zamborino, lovely Air Italia livery there. So let's see who's settled the battle for third. Panos there, he's still got third. He's crossing the line there, followed by Timorous, followed by Courier. So Select, he's working his way down. Noodlester's already finished in 7th because I believe he's been lapped. So I think the next driver to finish might be Cajun, because yeah, he's coming down to the finishing line. That's Cajun 100 Kevin coming around, blasting out that last corner down the main straight to complete his race. So the last driver, who I think was still on the lead lap, is Select, coming out that last line with his Repsol liveried BMW there and heading for the finishing line. Great driving there by all. It wasn't maybe our most edge of the seat race, but we're certainly going to have that in race 2 with the reverse grid with mixed up tyres. So stick with us, we're going to have some great racing coming up to you shortly. So let's just have a look, see if we can get an idea where this will have affected the championship. I'll have to do this a little bit off the top of my head. So there we go, Kalunen celebrating his victory there. So let's just move up to the race results. So this is going to be a little bit, as I said, off the top of my head, but bear with me. I take no responsibility if it's completely wrong. So Zamborino and Kalunen are the 2 leaders driving the championship, so I think that's actually going to change their position. So I think that's going to put Kalunen 1 point in front of the championship. Panos, who was in 3rd, that's going to cement his 3rd position. I think, unfortunately, with Burntfry not being present tonight, Timorous has jumped, will have jumped into a clear 4th position. Kevin 77 on 50, so Select will have moved up to 6th. So there's a few movers and shakers there. So that's great to see things moving around as the championship moves on. They've just changed the settings on the room, so we can get ready for round 2. Now this is going to be a reverse grid race, so the fastest drivers from the first round will be at the back of the grid for the second round. So it's going to mean they're going to have to work their way through. And the interesting thing, particularly with this circuit, is the fact that obviously with the short straights and tight corners, that we will have, that they're going to have quite a bit of difficulty getting by. And these guys are all quite respectful racers, so we are hoping that, you know, we can see some quite exciting races here, and the drivers who will be at the front, if we look at the race results, that's going to be Holke's going to take pole, Cajun 100 second, Noodleser will be 3rd. So those guys are going to be able to hold their spot and just drive probably a fairly tight race, and mean that these guys behind it will have great difficulty getting by. Because obviously if they drive too aggressively, that could result in penalties and move them back due to having to drop time, because they have to slow down to counteract for those penalties. So it'll be interesting to see how this is all going to shake out. Championship wise, it will be quite interesting, because those fast guys at the back are very much the guys in the front of the championship. So we'll be interested to see how they can work their way through, but not actually have any incidents as they work through the grid to try and get to the front. And obviously the faster ones, who are at the back, right at the back, are the ones right in front of the championship. So particularly that Greek set, the slower the Greek guys through the first race will be in front of those faster ones. So I think we've got a really cracking race ahead for us, because I think it's going to mean that we're going to have quite exciting racing to have. So let's just see if I can remind myself of the rest of this championship for you, because we're halfway through the 5 race championship we've got. We've got 2 more rounds coming up. I'm just trying to remind off the top of my head. I know one is Spa, and I'm just trying to double check who the other one is, because that will complete this second V8 championship. Let me just grab the details, because I had them to hand earlier and now I haven't. Here we go. Yeah, that was it. So rounds 7 and 8, which is next Sunday, will be the Suzuka circuit, and rounds 9 and 10 will be Spa-Francorchamps, one of my all-time favourite circuits. So we've got those 2 rounds coming up, and those 2 circuits are definitely going to promote very good racing, particularly because the overtaking opportunities are going to be fantastic, particularly at Spa with that long drive up the hill after Eau Rouge and the long run back to the bus stop chicane. I can see there being some great racing there. The other thing is, just remind you about Flat Out E-Racing. This is one of their championships. They've got 3 championships running at the moment. We've got the V8s on a Sunday night, and then we've got on a Wednesday night their GT4 championship, which is a particularly tight championship. That's currently running. That starts at 8 PM on a Wednesday night, and then we've got on a Thursday night the Brit Car Championship, which is running again at 8 PM on a Thursday night. I'm just going to pick up a driver here, just bear with me a second. And that championship's only just started, and all these championships we do have spaces, so if you want to get involved, jump on to Facebook and search Flat Out E-Racing, and then join the group, get involved in the chat and discussion. The guys in there are all really friendly, so jump on board, find out what they're talking about, decide which one you want to get involved in, and join up and have a bash. The reverse grid element always makes sure we've got quite a mixed up race series as well, so yeah, everyone's got a chance to run at the front. And particularly, unfortunately, Mark Parker, who's left us tonight already, he had a fantastic race at the end of the last GT4 series, very last race of the season. He managed to start towards the front of the reverse grid, and he hung on for the win, and he had a fantastic night there, and that's not an opportunity you get in a lot of race series out there. So just looking, you can see on the left hand side of your screen there that the some of the drivers, basically all the ones with a Greek flag beside their name, have got the S now on their tyres, which means they're on the soft tyres rather than the really sticky super soft tyres, which is the purple circle tyres of the others. So this should give those drivers that maybe didn't quite have the pace in the first race the advantage in the second race. So hopefully these guys will be able to clear the way with a clean pair of heels before those guys who perhaps showed, oh, Cajun, you had a bit of a slide going on there, but you caught it well. Great bit of driving there. I'd look in your rear view mirror, because I think you've got a Kalunan coming up at you on a reasonably high level of pace, but right behind you. Oh, got his hands and flashes on. The guys are just getting themselves organised. We should be away in racing in around about 2 minutes time, so it will be, there's no qualifying for the second round. We've already decided that from the reverse grid from the first race, so we'll be straight into a race. The other thing to note on this circuit, which is a bit different to a lot of the other places we race at, like Suzuka and Spa and so on, and particularly the more modern circuits, is that when you get offline, beyond that white line, all there is sand, and it grabs hold of you and takes you on a one-way destination to disaster. And you can get on that journey just by running over that white line and getting 2 tyres off it. So it's a real, you know, different style of circuit, whereas a lot of circuits you've got that tarmac runoff and you can push the limits. This one, there's no chance. There's no great acres of tarmac or anything to catch you, so they have to be real precision drivers here. So here we go, we're getting ready for round 2. There you go, Holkey on pole, Cajun 100 second, Noobs the 3rd, Select in 4th, Courier 5th, Timorous in 6th, Panos in 7th, Zamborino 8th, and Kalunan in 9th. So we'll hop on board with Holkey, who is on pole position, and I'm sure he's going to make the most of that position and see where he can get in this race and try and hang on to that position, keep it on the island between the sandpits. So we've gone green, we're away. That one, let's work our way back, because I think Holkey's going to make a bit of a run away here with a clean pair of heels. Be interesting to see further back where these guys. Oh, and it looks like the Greeks have made a move through already. Who's dropped back there? Somebody's dropped back already. Who's back there in 9th? Oh, Cajun 100 must have made a mistake there, because he's already back in 9th at the start. So here we go. They're already up on the back of the top 3. The Team Greece, I shall refer to them as. So Holkey's trying to make a bit of a break for it. He's still out there in front. He's hanging on to it. So we're already nearly 1 lap in. Select's eyeing him up for a move, but compromising himself. Oh, they're all getting a bit slippy sided across the sand. Oh, and Timorous has made a hell of a mistake. Oh, it all went horribly wrong for them there. It all went horribly wrong. They were facing all the wrong way. Oh, and Holkey's off as well. We'll come back to that in a minute. Oh, and Courier, from what I would guess was about 6th on the grid, after 1 lap, it's the first. It was all on that run down to that sharp left-hander. It all went pear-shaped for him, and it went pear-shaped particularly for Kalunan. He's in 2nd. He was all over the place. Let's go back and have a look. I can't believe I got that wrong, but I might have done. Hang on. So who got that wrong there? Let's have a quick look. So no, Kalunan was all right. Oh, I'm trying to see that battle. Oh, it was Panos got caught up in that. So he's moved his way back. Oh, and Select went off on the gravel there on the exit. So that's where his race went a little bit pear-shaped. So I thought that was Kalunan that was all sideways and going all over the place, but clearly it wasn't. So back with you now at live coverage. So Holkey unfortunately shuffled down there to 8th. Courier's out in front, but he's under real pressure there from Kalunan in 2nd. Cajun 100's hanging in there, keeping up for Team UK there in 3rd. Looked like there was a fairly tight battle there for Timorous and Panos. They're looking really racy there at the moment. Look at this. So that's, oh wow, look at that. That was over both sides there of Select. He didn't know what hit him. Let's have a look back at that one again. That was incredible manoeuvre. So look at that. One the inside, one to the outside. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Poor old Timorous didn't know what happened to him there. Oh, and poor old Holkey looks like he's had a little bit of a problem there. So we've hopped back on with Kalunan up there at the front. So he seems fairly settled there. 1.1 seconds in front of Courier. Zamborino up there in 3rd. Timorous and Panos in 4th. They'd slotted by Select, as we saw in that manoeuvre where they made a bit of a sandwich of Select 2099. We'll just hop back on with the YouTube feed. See what's happening large. Yeah, I agree. Very nice move, Timorous. So we'll just move our way down, see what's happening with the guys further down. Zamborino, he's they're in third, 6.6 behind Courier. So, but just 2 seconds in front of Timorous. Now, Timorous looks like a little bit of a driver maybe on the move. So we'll keep an eye on that gap. It's sub 2 seconds. And it's now around these little tight knurly corners. It's quite difficult to spot what's happening timing-wise. So Timorous is in fourth. As we mentioned, 2 seconds behind Zamborino, but he's coming under quite a bit of pressure there from Panos. So now, Panos, we know, got some overtaking manoeuvres done in the first race, so he may well be worth keeping an eye on to see how things progress. So Panos is definitely coming up there on Timorous in 5th place as they come around to complete their 4th lap, riding those curbs, taking as big a chunk out as he can. Now in 6th we got Select, who's not dropping off from this pack. Oh, that's Hulky there. I thought that was one of Team Greece that hit a problem there. So Select is there in 6th, just 1.2 behind Panos, so he's not dropping away from these guys, so he's definitely keeping on the pace for that. So in 7th we've got Noodlester, he's dropped about 7 seconds behind Select, but he's not a million miles away, so there's a little problem up front. He could be in there for some higher points. And Cajun there is 4 seconds behind Noodlester, so he's not completely out of touch. And Hulky we did just see, unfortunately, being lapped there by the leading pack, so he's there currently down in 9th. So I think we're going to drop back on board with Panos, because I think he's one of the guys where we're going to see a little bit of a move happen. We've just gone over quarter distance, and even this very short race, it's amazing how those faster guys at the back have already made their move through to the front. So let's just see what we've got going on in the chat. No. So Panos is definitely winding in Timorous there. I think we could be seeing a move soon, so we'll hop on board with Panos, see if we can see where he's going to size up Timorous to grab that position. Oh, up front, unfortunately we missed it. Kalunan has got Courier, and have we got a drop out? What's happened to Zamborino? Zamborino's dropped all the way back to 6th. Not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can have a full run back. Oh, made a mistake there at the chicane. Oh dear me, he was all over the place, wasn't he? And he's grabbed it. And as I mentioned earlier, it's so difficult when you make a mistake and you get out on that sand. It's so difficult to recover it that the cars just don't want to play ball, and they just want to end up playing in the sandpit for the rest of the race. So Zamborino's race has gone from sort of hero to zero there. He was happily running up there in 3rd. So let's see what sort of gaps we're on at the moment. So he's well in front of Cajun, but Select does look like he could be under threat there, because we know Zamborino has got good pace. So it's 3.5 seconds at the moment with 12 minutes remaining. So we'll see how that develops. We'll hop back up with Panos, because we know he was looking quite racy on the back of Timorous, and still is. Riding high round that highly cambered corner. Oh, bigger track fencing or sign they're laying in the track. I'm sure it won't affect the guys. So this really tricky section down the hill, heavy on the brakes through those, touching all those apexes. And there we go, taking great chunks of curb out of this last section. Quite difficult here to know when to get on the throttle. You can understeer wide and end up trying to put yourself down the pit lane. But these guys, Zamborino has already caught Select. I think Select must have made a mistake there, because he was 3 seconds in front and now he's 5 seconds behind. So I can't see that that was just a normal catch-up and overtake manoeuvre. I think Select, unfortunately, must have made a mistake there, unseen by us. So let's have a look, see where we've got some battles developing. Panos is usually quite good for a battle. He's there in 4th, still only 0.8 of a second behind Timorous, he doesn't seem to have made any stronger inroads into that gap. Otherwise, all the other guys looks like they're fairly settled out. We will move down the pack and have a quick look through. Select there in 6th. He was up to 5th there when Zamborino had that problem, but I think Select himself must have had an issue there, because he's then dropped back down very quickly from being 3.5 seconds in front of Zamborino to being 7 behind. So I think he must have had some kind of issue. Cajun in 7th. Oh, running a bit deep there. Made a bit of a mistake. He's falling back there into Noodlester's clutches, who's there in 8th place. So we'll hop on board with Noodlester, because I think he can sniff a 7th place here. So head down, complete another lap 9 in the bank. Come up, oh, late on the brake, what a manoeuvre! Way late on the brakes there, Noodlester, and he just launched it down the inside. Wasn't that absolutely fantastic? I don't think Cajun knew that was coming. Perhaps even Noodlester didn't realise it was coming, or maybe it was a pre-planned manoeuvre, but he absolutely launched that down the inside and made it stick and got to the apex. Oh, and it looks like, unfortunately, Cajun has gone off there. Let's have a look, see if we can see what happened there to him. Oh, there we go. A little bit too much throttle. The back was coming around to spin on him, and it just spat him off onto the gravel, and that was the end of that. So that was slightly unfortunate for him there. So let's have a quick look, see where we are. We've just gone just over half race distance. We'll have a look. We've lost, hang on, have we lost Panos? No, Panos is in 4th. There we go. He still seems to have that 0.8 of a second gap on Timorous, which he just doesn't seem to be able to pull it in and make a difference. Looking around the rest of the track, all the other drivers are very much out on their own. So we'll stick with this battle, I think, now, because I think this is where the action is likely to come, as Panos, I think, maybe has just a little bit more pace than Timorous. He was showing good pace in the first race, and as we know, that jumped that 2 spots. So I think Panos might just have something up his sleeve to try and get a manoeuvre done here. And this, you see, this is where we saw Noodles to get by Cajun, just to lob it up the inside. And oh, Noodles has got Select as well. So I think Select down in 7th must have made a mistake for Noodles to get up there in 6th. So I think a mistake has happened there, which is, again, sadly unseen by us. They all do seem to be making their mistakes off camera tonight. So we will just hop on with Select, see how far they are behind Noodlester. Yeah, 8.9 seconds behind, so it's been quite a mistake there from Select, unfortunately, because to lose that much time must have been an error on track rather than just an overtake. So we'll hop back with Panos and Timorous in Panos in 4th, Timorous in 3rd. So I will just have a look and see how significant this is going to be in the championship. Let's just have a quick look. Oh, that was the one I was looking for. So the big winner in here, I think, is going to be Kalunan, because Kalunan has jumped to lead the championship, and this is now going to take him even further out of the way. And Courier, who's a driver that hasn't been with us until tonight, will take away some good points tonight, but what he's actually doing there is creating a buffer between Kalunan and Zamborino, who is in 2nd place at the moment. And Panos is going to be still there in a steady 3rd, and the big loser tonight, unfortunately, he wasn't able to make it. It's going to be Burnfry, because Timorous is going to be running away clear there with this 3rd place in race 2. He'll have a good solid 4th place in the championship. So I'm sure that'll be on Panos's mind as well, that the championship, a few points now can make an awful lot of difference at the end. So he'll be eyeing up that 3rd place and final podium position from Timorous in 3rd. to try and upgrade his 4th position. So let's ride on board with Panos again. There we go, in the M6 GT3 M Power. What was his lap time? So 0.5. Oh, his fastest lap was lap 4. So he's possibly losing slight pace as the race goes on, because obviously we're getting a little bit of tyre wear, so he hasn't got quite as much grip. So round this cambered top corner, head away back down the hill, and this is where, despite getting a good amount of speed down here, it's so difficult to get an overtaking position. We go 1 apex, 2 apex, 3 apex, 4 apex, and then hard on the brakes, and then in this real go-kart kind of section as we head towards the finishing line of the lap, there's just nowhere to get your nose in front. Oh dear, Panos picked up a penalty there, which he's going to have to dump within the next lap, and that's going to cost him now. He got that penalty. I thought he was pushing his luck a little bit. He cut too much of those left, right, left corners onto the start-finish straight, and just took too big a chunk out of the curb, and for that he was automatically awarded a penalty. So you can see he's now dropped 1.2 seconds behind Timorous. So let's work our way back. See, is Zamborino going to come into play on this one tonight? Well, I don't think so. We've got just over 4.5 minutes remaining of the race, and he's 5 seconds behind Panos. So I don't think he's going to jump that gap tonight. I think in 6th place, Noodlester's fairly safe there. He's let's have a look, 23 seconds behind Zamborino, but still 13.5 seconds instead in front of Select in 7th, who is only 7 seconds ahead of Cajun. So there is a possibility that he could do something there. And then in 9th is Holke, who has unfortunately dropped off the lead lap. So we'll hop back with, oh, he's just letting the fast guys through there. So Kalunan there in the lead. He's 12 seconds up the road from Courier. So despite running these harder tyres, which the fastest 5 guys from the first race had to switch to a harder tyre, which meant they had less grip, they have still managed to shuffle their way to the front of the pack, and the one that's done it the best is Kalunan. Courier there in 2nd, first time out with flat out e-racing. He's going to be chuffed, I imagine, with that 2nd place, assuming he hangs on to it for the next 3 minutes 20 seconds. So Timorous is in 3rd there, still getting close attention by Panos, who, having dropped back 1.2 seconds due to that penalty, has wound up onto the back of Timorous very quickly within a lap or so. So he's definitely got more pace in his BMW in 4th than Timorous has in his in 3rd. So they're just coming around to lap Cajun, I think. Oh no, I think that was Holke. He's definitely got more pace in that BMW of his, but it's just not enough extra pace to get by Timorous for 3rd, because there's just so little opportunity to overtake around here. You're relying on the driver in front to make a mistake so you can nip through and take the opportunity. But Panos is hanging in there, less than a second behind, cutting the corners there, kicking the stones up onto the track. So as we head up towards the top corner here with this heavily cambered right hand curve, riding the wall of death as we hurtle back down the hill. This is where Panos does seem particularly quick through this section, because he did seem to wind up on the back of Timorous a couple of laps ago, but this time he doesn't seem to be quite so slick. So that gap's eked itself out to just over a second now, so Panos didn't have quite such a good run in the last part of that lap. So here we go, completing lap 17. I don't think we're going to have more than 2 more laps now. In fact, I'm sure we're not. So let's just keep an eye on what's happening further down. No, Noodlester's, Select, Cajun and then Holke are all there in order from 6th downwards. Zamborino is getting a little bit closer to Panos, but unfortunately we just haven't got enough time for him to really make a difference now. So unless Panos can do something. He's got one more lap and a bit to do something. He just needs to put that amount of pressure onto Timorous that he makes a mistake. Just keep showing himself in his mirrors, making himself a bit of an annoyance. As we head back down the hill, then hard on the brakes for the left-hander through the final chicanes, taking as much curb as we dare, kicking the stones up. Here we go, 1 lap to go. Last chance saloon for Panos to get that podium position. He's still sat around about a second behind Timorous, so I think unless Timorous makes a mistake, I think this is going to be it. But in motorsport you never quite know what's going to happen, so I'm sure Panos is going to keep his foot to the floor and see whether he can force Timorous into that mistake. So we head up to the top of the track here at Willow Springs, riding the wall of death around the bank corner. Yeah, Panos has got that gap down to about half a second, so Noodles has finished. Oh, I didn't realise Kaluna was quite so far ahead, so he's got around. Excuse me. Here comes Courier up to the finishing line. His first time out with flat out e-racing, so I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that second place. And then third, just coming around the last corner, is Timorous, has fended off Panos, who's finished there in 4th. And then coming through is Zamborino in the Air Italia liveried BMW for 5th place. So I think we've just got out on circuit. Holke, who's taken a little bit of a detour there through the sandpit. Oh, I think he's going for the reverse finish. Oh, nice J-turn there, Holke. Very impressive. The Secret Service will want your services, I'm quite sure. Oh, a bit wide there into the sandpit, but he's got it, and he's got it up to the finishing line and completed in time. So, great second race there. The reverse grid did shuffle it up for the first few laps, but the Team Greece did work their way through to the front, and the fastest of Team Greece was Kalunan, who's there on your screen with his Sky livery BMW. So, great to see everybody join us tonight. Thanks for all your input there on YouTube. It's always a great pleasure to chat with people online to see what's going on. Just to remind you, we've got our next race is on Wednesday night, which will be the GT4s. This will be a similar format with a normal forward qualifying based race and then a reverse grid for the second race, and that produces some really exciting racing. So Wednesday night 8 PM, same YouTube channel. Be great to see you there. In the meantime, everyone keep safe out there, look after your loved ones, and we'll catch you again soon.